The pre-trial sitting of Parliament arson accused Zandile Mafe has been postponed until the 4th of November. Mafe refused to come out of a cell this morning and did not present himself for his High Court appearance in Cape Town. SABC News reporter Mariska Botha has more.
We just came out of the Western Cape High Court here in Cape Town a little while ago, where the pre-trial conference of Zandile Mafe has been postponed yet again to the 4th of November. Mr. Mafe did not appear in court again. You might remember on a previous occasion, the previous pre-trial conference that was scheduled, he came to court, but he remained in the cells and he was in his pajamas and he would not present himself to the court. Today he did not even come out of postponed prison where he is currently detained. The court orderlies informed the state this morning that Mr. Mafe will not be appearing in court. His legal representative Luvuyo Godla, explaining to the court that it seems Mr. Mafe is disgruntled because he had certain demands. He wanted a television, a radio and a kettle. The kettle, he says, is because it's cold in Pollsmoor and he wanted to take warm baths. He wanted to boil some water and apparently he was not involved in discussions between Mr. Godla and Pollsmoor officials to see what they could do for him. They agreed on giving him a small radio, but the kettle was not allowed because it is seen as a dangerous object within the confines of correctional services. Mr. Godla says that seems to be the reason why his client might be acting out. He also said that Mr. Mafe is unhappy because they are waiting on a date at the Supreme Court of Appeals. He is in the process of appealing his bail. And he says Mr. Mafe does not necessarily understand that one cannot pick and choose a date at the Supreme Court of Appeal. They have to wait on a date. And he's also unhappy about that part of his entire court process is taking so long. Mr. Godla distanced himself from his client's behavior and he said next week his advocate who represents Mr. Mafe in court, Zandile Mafe, will be in town and they will make a visit to Mr. Mafe to explain to him the gravity of the way he is acting right now. He says it could even impact on whether or not he will eventually get bail, because if he doesn't appear before court when he's in custody, what will he do when he is out on bail? There's no guarantee that he will appear in court when he is supposed to. So he says his client might not fully understand the gravity of his actions. The judge, Matthew Francis, of course, made it clear to Mr. Godla that it's disrespectful, that his client did not appear in court, and that he will have to ensure that he comes to court in November for that next pre-trial hearing. The state indicated that they have handed over all material that is required for the trial to go ahead to the defence, and they are ready for the pre-trial conference to set a date for the actual trial to go ahead. The reason for pre-trial conferences is to iron out any issues that might exist between the state and the defence, and another reason for it is to ensure that the trial that eventually gets going runs smoothly without delays, in case there are papers outstanding and the like. But the state indicating that they are now ready to set a date for the trial, they are ready to proceed. And Mr. Godla reiterating that he will have to sit down with his client and explain to him the gravity of his actions. He must appear before the court. He must be present at the pre-trial conference so that he can hear for himself what is being said about him and on his behalf by his defence team. But for now, it's been postponed to November, where hopefully a trial date will be set for Zandile Mafe.